Hey everybody, Jason Chandler here.
Darren Banyan.
Timothy Bennett.
And this is another episode of B&B Goes to the Movies. Speaking of which, are you guys excited for movies to be opening up the theaters?
I could care less.
You can care less because you can't go. You never have time to go.
Basically.
I haven't been to a movie. I think Captain America Civil War was the last movie I saw in the theaters.
Ooh, that's a good movie
So
to see in the
it's
theaters.
been a grip.
I saw the part 2 of It. That was the last time I was in a theater. But
Boy, how disappointing was that?
Oh, I loved it. But prior to that, it was before Kaylee went into labor. That was John Wick 3.
Yeah, I could care less about the movies too. I mean, I like the sound and the big screen, but
There's
I always
something,
fall asleep. The chairs are too damn comfortable.
Right.
It's too dark.
I enjoy
And
going to the
I'm-
movies, but it's been so long. Like, I don't miss it either. Like, I feel like I'd enjoy it if I went, but like, there's nothing that really like drives me to go to the movies.
I don't know. There's this weird feeling about it because, yeah, kind of like what you're saying. Like, I think I miss the movies. I love going to the movies. I've always loved going to. That's why I've worked at 2-3 theaters in my lifetime, and
brag.
I just don't know. It's a different feel now. Like,
Yeah.
And it was even before quarantine. It
I
was
wonder
like,
how expensive the tickets are going to be to
shit,
make up
right?
for what they lost in the
Yeah.
last year, huh?
I don't have $50 to go to the fucking movies.
I don't know what happened. At some point in the last couple years, I just fell away from wanting to go to the movies. As much as it's so attractive and I still want it, it doesn't feel the same
I
anymore.
also feel like there just hasn't been a movie that really screamed at me, I have to see that in the theater.
That's true. It didn't matter what fucking movie was coming out. I went and seen Elf like 5 times in theaters, and I didn't even like it.
It was.
I saw You, Me, and Dupree in the theaters.
So did I.
Jesus. Comedies have never been. I went to those when I lived across the street from the theater, but comedies I never was like have to go. But it was Star Wars, Deadpool, and the new Spider-Mans are the only ones that were like, I want to see that in the theater for sure.
Deadpool, any of the Marvels for sure.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I'd be good.
Apparently,
Well,
we went
yeah.
a couple times. We went and seen Thor 2, you said. Or 3. No, 2.
No, you and I saw Godzilla together.
You saw it too? That's
We might have seen.
I thought we saw Thor 2.
Maybe we did. I can't remember now.
I don't know. But I always loved watching any of the Marvel stuff in
Anything
theaters
that's
for
got
sure.
that much work put into it is fun to watch in the
Deserves
theater.
to be
Yeah.
watched in something that epic. The question is, are you guys an IMAX person?
It's been so long since I've been doing IMAX.
Yeah.
I haven't gone since I was in school.
That's that whole 360 or dome type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like tiered, more
I think
tiered
I haven't
seating.
been since school as well.
Yeah.
Same here. The last thing I watched was some like aquatic, like underwater
Yeah.
aquatic thing, and that was for school too.
I think mine was like the stars or something. It was like a low rent planetarium thing.
Yeah, I think it was in 8th grade when I saw. That's probably my first. Oh, yeah, that's probably my first one too.
I remember going with my class, and my best friend and I are sitting next to each other, and like he got like the intro was always like in ours. The intro was always like a helicopter shot of a city, so like you were just flying over the whole city, and he got motion sickness, and like, and I get car sick. Like, anybody that's traveled with me drunk knows that I get really fucking car sick. I don't travel well, so. But like he was just like he had headache and like he was just like, oh my head, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? We were in 6th grade when this happened. I'm like, he's gonna be in a bitch.
That's how I felt. I got a headache and stuff from trying the 3D films. I fucking hate those goggles or
I've
whatever
only
the fuck it
watched
is.
one 3D film, and I think it was one of the Resident Evil movies, and I was just like, this is
The
unimpressive.
movie I watched was Hugo.
Hugo, like the
that
Martin
little kid, yep.
That would probably be
but
pretty
that's
good.
a phenomenal film.
I know, but I was so distracted by the fucking pain in my head.
Yeah.
Oh god, I love that movie.
I just remember Resident Evil, like there was like shit that was supposed to be coming off the screen, and I was like, is that supposed to be doing that? But like apparently the concept of 3D movies just like passed me by.
I hated him. I hated all
Yeah,
the ones
me
I've
too.
seen. I saw the only one I thought was worth seeing in 3D was Avatar, because you have all the colors, and
that
when
would
like
make sense.
and when you had like those
Still haven't
little
seen that movie.
when you had those little flaky things like like dandelion looking things that were floating around, that was pretty cool because it literally seemed like it was like flying at you.
have never
feel like
seen
you're immersed in
Avatar.
that world. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that was the only one I was like, yeah, that was worth seeing in 3D. Other than that, I saw the second Clash of the Titans in 3D, which wasn't worth it.
Wrath of the Titans.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
And I saw Jurassic Park
yeah.
when it was re-released
Ooh,
in theaters, and
Nice.
that wasn't worth it. Although it was
Really?
great to see
That's a
Jurassic
bummer.
Park in theaters again,
Yeah.
since I don't think I saw it since I was a kid. But Final Destination, like the fifth one, it was terrible.
Well,
so
I'm sure Final
terrible.
Destination 5 was probably terrible in
It
general.
was, but
Yeah.
like the 3D was even worse because they intentionally tried to make shit come at you as they were dying. It was like,
I feel like Rain of
once
Fire
again,
probably would have been cool to see in 3D,
that probably would have been.
especially when Matthew McConaughey jumps off the fucking building.
Which movie?
Rain of Fire.
Oh,
That you just recently watched.
fuck
like
yeah. I'm a
Everybody,
sucker
I
for
feel
not
like
watching
people
that
hate
till
on
2
that
weeks
movie,
ago.
but that movie was dope.
Hell
was.
yeah.
Yep. I told him, I was like, how have I not heard this?
Yeah, I was so. He told me the premise. I was so mad at myself. Like, of course I'm gonna love this movie. Why have I not watched it?
Because people gave it so much shit. I don't know why.
Really? God
I don't know.
damn.
Yeah, I think people hated on it really hard.
Yeah, and then I was even trying to like, oh, Matthew McConaughey, he's not an actor. He's just, the same guy, and I like who he plays. And Tim was like, you haven't seen Rain of Fire?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
totally fucking stopped me in
It's
my
a
tracks.
jump from
He
fucking where he's
fucking
at.
acted his ass off and proved me wrong in that role.
He's such a
Holy
badass
shit.
in this.
Yeah. I've never seen him anyways. Anyways, this episode of B&B Banter Bros is going to be about Good on Paper.
Yeah.
Netflix original, written by Iliza Shlesinger.
Schlesinger. I think,
Yeah,
something like that.
apparently it's okay if we fuck it up. Everybody fucks up her last name.
Well, that's because it's like you have to be drunk to say it properly.
Yeah, and she says there should be a C in there, but I don't know.
There's a C
whatever.
in there.
There's not.
It's SCH, isn't it?
No, it's just SHEL.
I've always seen it with an SCH.
Yeah.
Because it's
Am I
supposed to
making
be.
things? Is
Yeah.
that the Mandela effect? Like I've always seen the C, but no one else does.
See, and that's where.
Because you know it's like, this isn't right.
Yeah. So
My brain
apparently
just put it in there.
she's like one of those one-word performers as of late or whatever the past few years. People just call her Eliza.
Yeah.
So she gets introduced on
No one really
stage.
has that name and that spelling, from what I can tell.
Exactly. There you go. But yeah, she's a
And I don't
stand-up
want to be drunk
comedian.
every time I say her name. So
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
She's a stand-up comedian, and I'm a big fan of her stand-up. So I was looking forward to this movie because I like her writing. But let's talk about what you guys thought about the movie.
Tim, you want to field this first? We both took heavy breaths, by the way.
Oh,
So I like her too. She's one of the few, handful of female comedians out there that I think is funny, that I actually like. And I've mentioned this in one of the old podcasts too.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't have to do with the idea of being female that I have a
Right.
problem with. It just has to do, why are these female comedians who I have more respect for, trying to have more respect for, trying to act like a fucking douchey child like all these other male comedians are.
well, just
Like-
comedians, I think, are silly, and children
Yeah,
in general, like a musician or a rapper, or just any kind of artsy shit.
Yeah, but either way, it's the
immature
same reason why
somewhere.
I don't like a lot of other comedians too. So, but
But
she's
she's-
definitely one of those I think is funny. What she has to say, even though obviously I can't really relate to a lot of the female side of things, it's still, I get it, and
She tells a good story in her
yeah.
stand-up, and
yep. And I think that's what I think that's one thing about this movie that saved it a little bit for me. Because other than that, I didn't like it. I just yeah.
Aaron, do you agree with Tim?
So I'm going to preface this by saying I've never really given her a chance as a stand-up comedian. I personally don't. I have a lot of trouble with female comedians. It's not.
You've
It's not that
said
I
this
don't-
before on an episode. You
I
don't
have.
identify with them, right?
Yeah, it's hard for me to because for me, anytime I want to be entertained, I want to be able to put myself somewhere in the situation, and I can't do that very well with female comedians, female entertainers. So it's harder for me to get into it. So I haven't given her a chance. Now, having seen this movie, I'll probably give her a shot and watch some of her stand-ups, see how I feel about it. I
My
personally
suggestion would be Freezing Hot.
okay.
War Paint, of course, but it's not on Netflix. I looked. Pissed me.
It was
Sorry.
for a while.
Yeah, I know.
Warpaint's I think the one I saw first.
Yeah, it's like one of her first.
But I will say I struggled with the first half of this movie
Yeah.
pretty hard. Like I stopped and started a couple times because I could not take it.
Yeah.
But once I got to like the halfway mark, things turned around and like I started to see stuff that was made like I was more entertained. I was laughing, especially the banter between her and Margaret Cho, who Margaret Cho happens to be a comedian from in the 90s that I happened to watch. I thought she was hysterical back in the 90s. So like watching her and Margaret Cho together was funny. The last half was easier to watch. Overall, I don't think I'd watch this movie again. But
Yeah, no.
I completely agree with you. As probably the biggest fan of hers in this room, I was really hoping for a good, clever rom-com. And I got some kind of attempt at an anti-rom-com or some shit. And it was trying to focus on, like, lies and honesty and clearing the air and coming clean. And it was just...
definitely focused on lies and gaslighting and shit like that.
I think you had mentioned this before, and it was like she was trying to be... I feel like this was supposed to be a rom-com, but she was trying to be so feminist about it and so, like, anti, I'm not about that romance kind of bullshit that she was trying to basically not so much anti it, but say I'm better than that and I don't need that shit in this film.
It's
That's
definitely
how
an
I
anti-rom-com
I don't
in so much
I
as
didn't
like...
get that.
I feel like it's an anti-rom-com in so much as like it doesn't work out at the end. And like she, the guy ends up being, spoiler alert, the guy turns out to be a real douche nozzle. I think in that respect, it's an anti-rom-com. I don't know that's entirely what she was shooting for.
But you guys are aware this is a true story. This really happened to her.
Based on a true story, based on a lie.
Yeah.
Right
in the beginning of the show.
This really happened to her. She was friends with this guy for a year. He did all this shit, like the basic premise of him. Yeah. And then he lied about his mom having cancer. She felt vulnerable and fucking got sucked in and ended up dating him for 3 months and then found out. But obviously the whole fucking weird courtroom scene at the end didn't happen and whatever.
I watched that episode or that special or whatever that she told about that story, but still it didn't really justify the film any.
No. So I don't see it. I never got her trying to be better than Love or Rom or feminist or anything like that. It was just like a story she tried to expand and embellish that really happened to her.
Though that's her whole act is I don't need this shit. I'm a strong, independent woman. That's all I need is me.
But she does need that shit. But that's what War Paint's all about. That's what Freezing Hot's all about. She does. She's a very strong lady, feminist, and morals and whatever.
She knows she needs it.
She knows she hates that
but she still
puts herself through all this fucking trauma.
Once again, she still acts that way though. She knows it, but she still acts though like she doesn't need it. That's the whole.
But she's very honest.
Yeah,
she's honest with the whole push and pull.
She's aware of the hypocrisy.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. That's what I like
her
about
counter.
her. Yeah, she is honest with herself.
Yes,
even though she doesn't want to.
That's what this movie was trying to really present, was coming clean. And like when she goes to her fucking friend that gets all the roles, they both moved to LA. When she comes clean to her friend, that's my favorite part of the movie.
That was actually really decent because you saw that the friend or Serena.
Yeah, her response was fucking awesome.
Yep, it was.
She talked normal, not that Valley Girl shit.
Yep. Okay. Which I
totally honestly, I may have checked out at that conversation. I don't know why.
No, I
don't remember it that well.
I thought that shit was hot.
Oh, that lady.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah, and she has to be to get all the.
That's my whole point. I was like, well, she deserves it. She's fucking 10 times better looking. No.
But before we go down too many negative check marks and pass roads.
Well, on positive note,
that was my favorite part of the movie. Anybody else got one nice thing they can say about it?
I thought her and Margaret Cho together were hysterical. Them just anytime those two were conversing was entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Because I thought the chemistry was great, and I thought, like I say, I've always thought Margaret Cho was hysterical. Who, by the way, I feel like Margaret Cho is aging very well.
Well, yeah.
I always kind of had a crush on her for some reason. But yeah,
Margaret Cho was a saving grace for this movie,
for
sure.
Most definitely. Because that fucking guy was dog shit. The guy playing Dennis, I thought was fucking terrible.
He looks familiar, but I feel like I've never seen him in anything.
That's what I said too. I'm like, God, this guy looks familiar.
I feel like he may have been a
stand.
stand-in for a horse. Because those teeth are fucked.
I get that.
I
Could have played
honestly,
BoJack Horseman.
I couldn't stand the guy. Throughout the entire
From
thing.
the jump, couldn't stand him.
No, first, say something nice, Tim, please. I'm the host, motherfucker. Do what I say.
Something nice. There was a couple parts I thought I laughed at.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I was just cringing on how terrible it was.
Fair enough.
Oh, my God.
Okay, and you found that one lady pretty. All right, good enough.
Yeah, actually, that's probably the nicest thing. I thought that Serena chick was fucking like, I thought she was a babe.
She didn't look familiar to me
Nope.
either. I've never seen
She
her.
never
looked,
seen her
she
before,
looked
but-
like somebody, but it, like,
She's
looks a
just
little
a
like Kate
normal.
Upton, like the
A
model
little
Kate Upton.
bit.
A little bit.
a little bit like she could have been like a distant cousin.
Yeah.
I that's
She
who I
just
kind
had
of
that regular, beautiful LA model look
Yeah.
with the whole blonde.
Unfortunately, see, I didn't quite get that. She's way more.
Or-
Got too much weight on her.
Mm.
She wasn't skinny
She's
enough.
Minnesota hot.
Yeah, I can
Nice.
say that.
I like that. I
But
agree
yeah,
with
there's
that.
just something very. She was very, very,
Even though
very
it
attractive. In
contradicts
my
everything
opinion.
I just said.
But
You're welcome.
I
Thanks,
honestly, I thought that one of the funny parts, I have to agree, like the whole relationship between her and Mark, like the whole friends thing, like they
Yeah.
bantered so well. The chemistry was great. But I would say that the part I thought was funny is when she was like finding out that this dude was lying and they were in a car and she brought her whole survival zombie
The
kit
bag
bag
thing.
thing. I thought that was pretty funny, and I giggled about that a little bit because once again, it was their chemistry. She's like,
love-
"You're getting off on this." I was like,
A little bit. I love the callback to that when Serena calls later and she's like, "Your friend left her survival bag in my
Yeah.
car. It kind of smells like meat, and I'm vegan."
Yeah, yup. I did that. That was funny. I did. I chuckled.
I thought that was good.
Like, don't open the front pouch.
Why? Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
All right.
Yeah. So that's good.
Well, this movie is based on lies. People that really commit to fucking lying and just not being genuine. And there's always stories of dudes that lie to women to, hit it and quit it or commit to it or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Have you ever had friends, or I'm assuming none of us have done that? I haven't.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
Have you
No.
ever? I've never had a friend that actively did that, or at least told me about it. But it's always been like a common thing, apparently. But have you guys ever met anyone?
I've never met someone that began a relationship under false pretenses.
Okay, yeah, that's
As
what I'm
as
trying
far
to
as
say.
like hooking up, like no one's ever shared that shit with me. I mean, I'm the wrong guy to share that stuff with.
No, yeah, and you have the least friends out of all of us.
Yeah. This is very true.
I've
Hurtful trollop.
definitely I've known people who've done that kind of shit, but
Yeah, but
I
never had.
wouldn't say it would be anybody like close or anybody I give a shit about. So
Yeah, I got no respect for that shit.
I've probably
Yeah.
met more women, honestly, who've done that
Really?
than I have men. But I definitely am not going to say that men don't do it because that's
Oh, no.
absolutely
Men
true.
definitely do
They
it.
definitely do it. They'd probably do a lot more than I've been like,
If men can roofie girls' drinks, they can lie about something.
absolutely.
Right, but yeah,
Absolutely.
what's the point of lying? It all eventually catches up. It's probably a cliche thing, but it's true, right?
Yeah, it has to
Yeah,
do with
most
exactly. Unfortunately, that was the only pure honest thing that I think Dennis was saying is his insecurities got the best of him, and
Fair enough.
he realized that when he was playing this other role, people respected him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it has to say a lot about society. It has a lot with the shallowness and not just giving people a chance.
Mhm.
And that was one of the things, because you don't think I would be into a nice guy who'd want to treat me right. And basically he said no. Well, he didn't, but it's not, that doesn't really happen. It's one of those things where in a world, and it kind of goes both ways, that there's a certain idea that people have about a relationship or have a standard that is an idea. And when they don't reach that, they kind of push away those things that are around them. I've even been guilty of that. I remember in high school breaking this one chick's heart because I just wasn't really into her, and she was all into me, and I didn't realize I let her on in any certain way, but apparently I must have.
I did something like that in high school.
And so, I think it's just that blindsided shallowness because you want this instead of this is what you should have.
It comes from a very selfish place. Yeah. Like not totally ununderstandable, but like it's a very selfish spot to come from.
And I think that's one thing about this film that Elijah was doing was like she was basically saying that, but she was making it more aware of, hey, this is just human nature. Like this is what we do. Just basically just trying to make it more like present, more revealing that, hey, this is kind of an issue. We shouldn't be this way. And she was using herself as that example, which I did like. And the dude was a fucking total douchebag.
The guy was a tool from the jump. Like,
how long were they together?
Well, 3 months is the actual real life
relationship
timeline. But yeah, they were friends for a year before he asked to. Because she lived that comic life, and he was always available whenever she needed him. So that's how.
Because I was trying to get that perspective, and I didn't catch a timeline.
Yeah, the time frame once they started like actually dating seemed pretty non-existent. Like I didn't gather how long.
The flow of this movie, like I'm sure, like when she was writing the story, it's good on paper. I'm sure it looked, but.
It looked good on paper.
Yeah, I know. I hate it. But I had to say it. But whoever directed and edited this shit, fucking amateur. I mean, better than I could do most whatever, but it didn't flow very well.
No.
It didn't capture whatever Iliza was trying to bring to the audience or like to our attention. It somehow missed the mark on a lot of these things. Would you agree?
I feel like the message...
I feel like the message
itself, the message came through. But I agree that the way it flowed,
it was almost like a roundabout way.
It was very circuitous. I think would be the right way to say it, because it was just very all like just serpentine.
But that was probably mainly to try to create that entertaining value. You know, she was trying to throw those jokes in there, trying to make something funny, entertaining, and yet still kind of have some kind of story. And
it was oddly sporadic.
Yeah, like, there we go.
Like, you know, you went from like them starting to date and her talking about like not being physically attracted to him at the same time, and then all of a sudden like, he's gonna meet my family. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Hold the fucking phone for just a second.
Right. I don't know.
Where are we at? Granted, it's just a cousin, and I don't know. As far as family goes, that's not really that.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that I didn't relate to, so I didn't get it. Like, he's gonna meet my cousin. It's like this big deal. It's like, when did you tell me that you were best friends with your cousin before?
Like,
right.
Well, she mentions the cousin because he went to Yale too.
Oh, that's right.
The only real that whole area of the scene. That whole sense of the scene is all about the fact that the cousin also went to Yale at the same time that Dennis was supposed to have gone.
So even then,
here's my question about that case. I thought that was, who sets up a play date off of the same school? Like that aren't actual children. You know what I mean? Like,
was she? Yeah, because she wasn't concerned or starting to feel weird about his lies yet. When she set that up, she was still just really. That was still the beginning. You're right. I never saw it that way. It was an actual fucking play date.
Yeah,
but double date or whatever that he lied to get out of.
Maybe we're one of the few people out there, but I'm pretty sure I don't go, hey, my girlfriend, loves books too. Hey, you two would love to hang out.
That's what I was yelling at Lizzie at work the other day. She did that shit to me.
That's right.
Brett, if you're listening, that was weird.
What I didn't get was like, they didn't even get 20 feet in the door. And then we bought a ground of golf. Let's go. I was like,
I know.
What the fuck?
And I think it was her being weird or on purpose. I don't know. That was really weird.
That whole scene, honestly speaking, the second I knew he wasn't going to be able to golf, I just skipped to after he pretended to hurt his back. I was like, okay, we can move on.
Yeah, because
in the words of Bo Burnham, segues are hard.
But yeah,
He
once
does do that quite. It's fucking perfect. It's a clever segue. But yeah, and then that golf thing, he fucking fakes a backache, and then the next scene, he's in bed, just tossing around.
He is grunting, but not enough. Anybody who's
he
thrown
didn't
out
even
their
act
back,
like he didn't
or
even
has
act
back
like he was in
pains.
pain until the
No.
second time he rolled over.
Yeah,
The second time he rolled over, he's like,
I call bullshit on that.
I called bullshit the second he sat down
And
on
that's
the
when
fucking
she
plane.
started.
Yeah, yep.
Yes, when he was all like, about the cousin, he made some dumbass excuse like, well, I don't know, I was golfing and drinking a lot, and it's a big school.
I was gonna ask you guys that. I wanted to know. I was like, when did you guys realize this guy is fucking full of
From
shit?
the start.
Yeah.
Like the second he sat down on the fucking plane, was like, oh, it's my girlfriend. He turned away, and I was like,
and
nope,
that's the
this guy's fucked.
another problem I had with him. I hate as a viewer when I know more than the characters in the show, and then it has to play
Yes.
catch up. And it's like,
Oh my
fuck, I'm
God.
just sitting there waiting for the characters in the show to know what I know, and it's like, all right, this is not entertaining.
I was getting so frustrated because I wanted to be like, why do you not? And I get it from the perspective of telling a story and like
Yeah.
whatever, but I was like in my mind, I'm like I'm watching and going, why is she so stupid? Like you can't see this. Like how do you not see this? And I know it's like I say, I know it's for story, the storyline, and I get it. Like I'm not in the situation, but I'm looking on the outside. I'm like, motherfucker, why the fuck does no one else see it? And Margaret Cho fucking saw it. And I was like,
Yeah.
thank you, Margaret.
There's that comedy kind of thing though, is that somebody has to point it out to the character.
Right.
So even then, it was still up. It was set up.
Yeah, it fell on deaf ears, obviously, but like at least somebody was like able to go, nah, he's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was. I will admit that right when he sat down on the plane, I was like, okay, okay, fine, fairly believable.
Yeah,
You
coincidences happen.
Yeah, like the whole model
And
thing, the
that's
whole like he's not a hideous looking guy
Yes,
from
he is.
facial. Like
Who are you looking at?
There's worse. There are
I
definitely.
mean, they're
worse.
definitely worse, but those
So
teeth.
Tim's the guy that would say horses are majestic.
They are. Hey, at least I know what a mane is.
Fuck you.
What?
He thought a mane was on the front of the face,
I was just trying to say a lot of hair in a spot. I didn't fucking
and he said
care.
a mane. Like that's on the back, buddy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
This is a beard. You've got one.
Hey, 2021. I can put a mane anywhere I want.
But like
My pants.
the biggest thing right away, and Kaylee's like, "Is he wearing the same suit?" I'm like, "He's always wearing the same fucking
Right.
suit."
Damn it! I didn't fucking.
I didn't notice that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
God, that's so obvious.
Kaylee pointed it out, and like fairly soon, and I was like, "Yeah, I noticed that he's wearing the same suit in every scene. He's wearing the same suit, which means that he doesn't have another suit.
Damn,
which
I
means
never
that
noticed
he's
that.
lying. That was all it took was, oh, it's a different day now, and he's wearing the same fucking suit.
I didn't trust him from like the second he started talking about his girlfriend being a model and like all this stuff about him canceling. I was like,
slide that right in there, didn't you?
nope.
Yeah.
Like-
I didn't quite believe that either. But once again, not knowing anything about the story or where the story was going.
Yeah. I definitely did not trust him the second he was like, the second she was talking about that space cadet show and like moving to Vancouver to do it. And like he got all fucking weird, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this motherfucker's gonna do something." Especially when she's like, "Can we go again?" And I thought he was gonna somehow sabotage her rehearsal or her setup tape or whatever. I thought for sure he was gonna fuck her on that show, and not like in the fun way, but like get her like nixed
her
off
over?
the show. Yeah, fuck her over.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I missed a word.
Did you guys catch though when she got the news that she got it and then called Dennis or whatever?
I
and
like that
he's like,
part.
Yeah, I guess I'm moving to Vancouver.
Yeah, I guess we're moving to Vancouver. What was that?
What was
No,
that?
you're moving to Vancouver.
He's
Yeah,
like, I
caught
don't know.
that too.
Battery said that. That was another good part for me.
Yeah, going through a tunnel.
She was.
Just call me back when you have better reception.
Right.
This is annoying. Just the way she was like, "I'm gonna be a star." She says it so fucking funny, and I botched it right there. But
I
like her
did
voices.
like the gym scene too a little bit. when
Yeah,
they're
with
doing
her
punching.
Yeah, the whole punching is like, God, you got you and your weak arms. It's like you work out and you got weak arms. Like,
Did you remember? Did you see the callback to that when they're going to stake out the house and she's like, "Will you go first?" He's like,
Yeah.
"No." He's like, "I
yeah,
have weak
Little-
arms."
little weak arms. Yep.
And for some reason, whatever. Fuck. I forgot. Still mad about the main thing.
I will say like that once again to kind of go a little bit more into that. When was this guy gonna like? When did I notice that he was like a total douchebag? The key to me, like immediately, other than when like the whole suit thing was like, there's something up, was his house.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
And obviously that was a very obvious thing.
Yeah.
But he started to quickly, anytime anything was brought back,
well, that's where
he
the
would
gas
quickly get that response out.
and that's where that gaslighting comes in. Like he was just like spinning fucking tails and like bouncing things off each other. Like when he said like, "Oh, we'll just go over now." Like she'll put her teeth in and all this stuff.
Yep.
And like, she loves to put on hair. She's like, "No, no, no." Well,
Yeah.
like
I'm
that
not some
whole
spoiled
shit.
rat
And
that
then-
needs to go over and ruin. Yeah.
Then he turns to leave the apartment to do something, and then she goes, "Hey," and he gets like this nervous like look on his face.
Yeah.
And that was another like missed the mark moment for me. I was like,
because it was too obvious. It was too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? What? You lost the mystery now.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know there's something fishy, and you lost the mystery.
And it just wasn't like executed well.
So I'm
He was a
gonna-
terrible
He was terrible. Like, I was just gonna say, do you think he was doing that on purpose to make him more obvious, or do you think he's that bad an actor?
Well,
I don't know because I've never seen him in anything else either.
The
so.
best part of him, no, there's nothing best about him. But at the end, he
Yeah.
tried. The
When he's
best
looking in the mirror in the
conversa-
bathroom.
That conversation in the
Yes.
bathroom, yes.
Yes, that would
Yeah.
be the best way to examine if he's good or bad.
That is probably his crowning moment in the show
so
and the
you could
movie.
determine
is
if he
that
did it
part.
on purpose by
Anybody
that
else think that
small
hey,
scene.
she probably had her phone on her? Why wouldn't you record some shit like that?
Yeah, but that's also I don't know
Because he basically just admitted everything right there in the bathroom that he was just, "Oh, I'm gonna bring you down," kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Also,
That
too
would-
little, too late. I don't know.
I feel like
still,
that's like
I see what
entrapment
you're
or something like
saying.
that. But I don't know.
It's
There might
not-
be some legal loopholes on that one.
I feel like it would be justified.
I do too, but I'm just saying like the law is not always in favor of being able to do shit.
Oh,
like
in that
Absolutely
courtroom
not.
with that judge in that instance, you could do anything you want. That was not
And she fucking let her. Did you not notice that? Like she
What?
let her like do the monologue.
Yeah.
And she like, one more.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe that judge actually went to Yale.
I did like the end of that where it's like, "Oh, I can't believe you got stuck with a restraining order," and she's like, "So, get rid of him," kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she's like,
that
I
seems
don't
like
wanna
a
see him
good
Easiest
anyways.
set of rules I can follow.
right?
That
I
billboard
actually-
thing was a nice ending.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a nice punchline to the whole thing.
But her Seinfeld type of segues in the movie where she does stand up
Yeah,
without telling a single joke. She was just like using
using
half a
sections
joke,
of a show, like
half a
sections of
joke.
the
It,
set.
it was the
Yeah.
whole foreshadowing.
to like
Like
set up
basically,
the
she's
next,
setting up the premise of what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Or what had
that
just
shit
happened
fell
either, or-
flat. It felt unnecessary. Her narration was in the beginning a lot, and then the narration during the ring part was pretty funny. That ring was pretty funny. It did look like
Yeah.
a penis.
It did.
Yeah, it was
Looked like
terrible.
a rocket ship. What are you talking about?
Same
Big blue
difference.
rocket ship.
Here's the thing: a billboard costs like $1,500 to $2,000 to put up. Don't
Yep.
ask me how I know this, but
That one
He's looked
probably
into
costs more though
Yeah,
because
especially
it's in
on
LA.
a main-
Yeah.
And it's on a main
thoroughfare.
road.
on
Yeah.
that spot.
And she said she got that ring appraised, so that
Yeah.
means it had to be worth more than at least $2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was trying to sell on fucking eBay those $500
Those
tumblers.
back rack tumblers.
Oh, yeah.
For like
Like,
$50.
He had no money. Like, yeah, I'm like, what? He had this ring on him the entire time. Like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's actually I didn't even think about that. That's a good
poking
point.
just poking holes in some things. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah, the movie was ridiculous. It was not good, and I like her a lot. Her stand-up comedy to me reminds me of George Carlin. Her delivery.
Okay.
okay.
Have you?
can see
Do
that.
you remember her fast-paced paragraphs? Like she'll just fucking rant, and she'll do it. And George Carlin does the same thing. And
Yeah,
she's smart words. She's a very smart lady.
She is.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind after
So when
watching
you
this movie,
check-
she's intelligent.
When you check out her stuff, I'd be curious to see if you would agree with that. But yeah, she just really reminds me of George Carlin's cadence and
Early George Carlin or old George Carlin?
early.
Okay. Because there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference when he was happy and just angry.
Instead
Well,
of
he's
just
always angry, but
being angry and
There's a
more
difference.
angry.
It's really
yes.
it's before he got sober and after he got sober. It's really the difference.
Yeah, because then
Fair
he
enough.
couldn't mask the bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
to just live it, and it was just
Right.
more
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just very just.
Yeah. I will say that something that bothered me a little bit right away from this movie, like just right away, was when she was doing the auditioning tape.
Yeah.
And she's reading through, writing the script, and then she wants to correct the script.
But she
Yeah.
wasn't wrong.
That's not the point.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. To your point.
It has to do with why did you need to make yourself look that good?
Yeah.
That was the issue.
You
That's
wait till
what
you
I
get the
got.
part and
Okay.
then say it.
I never saw it like that, but you're
in
right.
general, not even about the whole like
Like she wrote it in there deliberately to make her
Yes.
come off like
She
the
was
best
a
person
good-
in the room,
yeah.
the smartest person in the room. Yeah.
yeah, or at least a
She
good
knew
comedian.
better than the people that actually
God
wrote the
damn.
shit.
I never saw it like that. You're right.
That
That is
was-
self-serving.
Yeah, that was what I was like. Why did I need to watch that?
But
Like,
at the same
you're just
time,
telling
if
me
you're-
you're better than everyone. Like,
But at the same time, if you're writing your own movie and like Netflix is gonna fucking make it, wouldn't you put something in there?
I
About
wish she would have been more creative. She
I
could
don't know
have
whenever I get
had.
the chance. So
She could have had
It's true.
any career. She didn't have to be a stand-up.
apparently she couldn't
a
get any
trying
career because she was
actor.
trying to be an actress and she wasn't getting
I
it.
wish she would have
Didn't
been
you say,
like a
like,
fucking
9 years of trying
nurse
to be
or
an
something.
actress?
Yeah, 9 years of auditions.
Wish she would have
Finally,
been
somebody
like a
wants
nurse.
me.
I wish she would have been more creative to choose a different career for the story. It would have
For the
been.
story.
It would have been probably a little bit better for some reason.
I felt like that
Yeah.
too about this film after watching it. I'm like, if she was like, if this wasn't a semi-autobiographical, like it would have probably been better.
yeah.
But knowing that this is taken off from a joke, because like I said, I watched that episode, that special or whatever it was when she
Yeah.
was telling about this. I'm like, I don't think anything that she's ever said in her stand-ups is worth telling a story through film. And this is one of them. It's just, who cares?
Is there any other stand-up comic that has taken a bit that they have done and then turned it into a movie?
Not a movie, but a show.
Yeah.
Jim Jeffries. Seinfeld.
Okay, true.
Oh, yeah, all the
I mean,
90s.
Seinfeld, yeah.
But there's a huge difference in comedy generation, though. Like Seinfeld, he was in a whole other era where like comedians
what you
were
did.
funny.
Yeah.
Not to, necessarily discredit all comedians of today. It's just that was a whole other world of
We've talked
comedy.
about the
Yep.
difference between 90s and now comedy.
And-
Comedians.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of comedians out there, and only a handful are fucking funny.
Yeah.
Well, and we talked about the fact
Man
that
or
a lot of
woman.
them only do like these, like Netflix has these 15, 20-minute sets that they can do where like they get their fucking names out there and it's fine, but that's only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they used to do
That's
an hour,
the-
hour and a half
that's
and
the-
fucking kill for the whole thing.
That's the people's fault because they're short-term
It's the
Yeah.
attention span. Yeah.
attention span.
The
Yeah.
instant gratification. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like comedians complain about it. I listen to a lot of podcast comedians. They've had to use their closer as open their show with because people only watch for 10,
Yeah.
20 minutes at tops.
Yeah, this is the worst time to be a comedian, to be
Oh, I'm
honest.
sure.
Although I will say that there's a small
it's-
incline or a big boost in like every so often, but it doesn't
Yeah.
last long. It
Right.
really doesn't last long. They may get their spot and they may be able to continue to work,
Mm-hmm.
but
Right.
essentially they basically stagnate at that point. Nobody really, they may come out with something, but if it's not about the name at that point, like
Yeah.
let's say Kevin Hart, for example. People watch Kevin Hart. They don't really care what he has to say. At this point, they just watch him because it's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, because we've even said the last two like Kevin Hart specials haven't been that good.
They really haven't been that good.
But I watched them and I watched them all
Because it's Kevin Hart.
yeah, exactly because he hooked me a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. All you need to do is hook them,
Yeah.
and they'll follow you for a little while until they realize that you're not worth following anymore.
Right.
For
It may
sure.
just take a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the issue with like I think stand-up comedians. It's like worse than trying to be an actor at this point.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I think, at least being an actor, you can be part of the Screen Actors Guild and have some sort of like being part of a union. I don't know that there's a comedians union.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
Like, to
fuck
help
no,
with-
no. Their community is their friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is them going to diners.
The
is-
clubs
they're-
and that's
things,
what
the
that
show that-
comedy store, which
Yes.
is huge.
And I
They
think
don't
that's
have
what that
insurance. They don't fucking.
Pete Holmes, I think, does that show Crashing is basically about being a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
He's like crashing on people's couches.
yeah.
Yes, and starting out.
And that's-
that
and
show
that's
is
kinda
pretty
what
fucking
that's about.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
you watch all of it.
I haven't seen it yet. I just know the premise of it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I
I didn't
like-
want to like it because I didn't like that guy, and now I like him.
I like
because of
Pete
that
Holmes,
show.
but I've never been a
Grow
huge fan
respect.
of his like stand up. But like when I've seen him do stuff, like I've enjoyed him.
That show, that's how I entered the show. Now I thoroughly enjoy his stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like watch. I don't
He's
know.
only got like one album, and I think it's called like Impregnated with Wonder.
I don't know. He's got a couple on.
But like I never
HBO.
watched his like because he kind of took over for Conan after Conan left TBS. Like he got his own like
Conan
show
just left TBS last week.
or whatever the fuck Conan was on the first time.
Oh, okay.
NBC or
Oh,
something. I don't know.
gotcha.
Fuck.
Yeah, he has his
question
own
me.
little show. Hell yeah.
But the first time Conan left, Pete Holmes got his own sort of show. Like it was like I don't know if
Yeah.
it was kind of a mixture of like the Conan O'Brien show and like Chappelle show. Like it did both.
Oh, he has some skits in there.
He did
I've
skits
only
and stuff
seen
like that, and he had
YouTube
like guests.
interviews.
Yeah. So he did kind of the combination of the two.
I mean, there's
think
no way
it'll-
that he's gonna be able to fill any of those shoes.
No.
Conan
Not at
O'Brien
all.
is fantastic. We've talked about this, and he's a unique individual. For damn sure.
Side note: did you see about how Paul Rudd crashed Conan's last show on TBS
Yeah.
during Bill Hader's interview?
I watched it on YouTube. It was hilarious.
I didn't watch it. No.
So
And it was
Paul Rudd has had a
hilarious.
running joke like every time he comes on to promote a movie, he just brings on a clip from Mac and Me. And like shows the same scene. He did it again during Bill Hader's interview.
And Conan was like, "You're
Twice,
such a
he
nice
did it
guy.
twice.
Yeah, you always lead me to believe you're not going to do it again." And then Paul Rudd in that moment was just like, "All right, this is your last one." He sells him one more time, and just
Yep.
plays it again.
It was really good.
I don't know. Yeah, that whole last week was. Yeah, we're talking about Conan O'Brien now.
We've gotten off topic.
That was about to bring it back for us because I was gonna
Yeah.
say we were talking about stand-up comedians. I was gonna bring up the idea like that's why I think that Iliza was pretty good because she, being a female comedian, she stands her own very well, and she has the grit that really kind of plants herself in the comedy world.
Yeah.
Where she's not easily budged. She has some balls. Like
Yeah.
not just into being able to be honest and say what she wants to say and get away with it kind of thing.
Oh.
She's not gonna no pushback.
That reminds
she's okay with
feel
pushing.
She has a
She's a-
skit show on Netflix as well, like 6 or 8 episodes.
Really?
Pretty fucking funny. And yeah, she says what she wants to say and does some crazy ass shit.
Is it as funny as Auntie Donna and the Big Old House of Fun?
I don't think
That
anything
was,
is.
Yeah, that was buck wild.
That was exact.
I'm Egg Helms.
That is buck wild.
I told Jason to watch that.
I got 3 episodes and I had to take a break. It was like too silly. I had to. It's so fucking funny.
That still makes me laugh.
Right? I told him like me and Aaron were sitting on the couch one day and we're like, what should we watch? I was like, oh, let's just give
No,
this a
I
shot.
came in. You were already starting it.
Oh, did I?
And I came in and I was like, "What are you watching?" You're like, "I don't know." Like this, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell's going on?" So I came in with the top. They're singing about coffee and they're calling it Morning
Yep.
Brown. And I'm like,
Morning Brown,
What
yeah.
is happening? And then we watched the whole fucking season
Yep.
in one shot.
It was one of those things like
We just couldn't stop watching. We were
Yeah,
so
I don't think it's
confused.
fair to compare any sketch show to that. That is fucking
That show
one
was
of a kind.
So buck wild.
And it is so. Buck wild is the perfect way to fucking
It really is.
phrase it.
Ed Helms, like I say, I'm Egg Helms. They'd call him, be like, "Who am I?"
Everything's a drum. Everything's a drum.
But yeah, Iliza, she's very strong, smart.
Yeah. She
Fucking,
is
just
very
comedian in
charismatic.
general. Fucking, because I
It's sad to think that Amy Schumer is more popular.
Oh, I fucking hate him.
God. I is she?
She
guess
is,
I don't-
because she's been around longer. Amy Schumer. So back in 2000 when they had the show Last
Last Comic Standing.
Comic Standing. That was back in
That's
2000.
when I
something.
watched her. That's when I noticed her.
That was
I
when Amy
watched that
Schumer. She was
season.
on. Yeah, she was on that. She was actually good, and then she
Got popular.
got popular, and she had one decent, like maybe quick little episode or special.
Yeah.
After that, that was decent, and after that was just fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's 2 of her movies that are better than this good on paper, at least.
I've never seen a single fucking one.
I know
Really? There's
Trainwreck.
one
What's
with-
the other movie?
What?
Trainwreck is one. What's the other movie?
I Feel Pretty.
Never heard of it.
It's not bad. I mean, you can take your angry tone and directed towards Tim, if you don't mind. But
How dare
I
you say
understand
she's good?
you guys are passionately hating against Amy Schumer, and I'm not
I think she's
defending
fucking
it. I
terrible.
don't think she deserves her goddamn status in life for sure, because
And
she is
now
not
she's-
that funny. She came out of the gate only doing stand-up comedy for like a year and two, won that show somehow, some way,
And now she's got a show where her and the chef she lets plow her fucking just cook shit,
she's married to a chef as well.
I guess.
Fucking Eliza's married to a chef as well. God damn it.
Good for her.
Well,
that's
because
we need to
when
move
they-
to LA
I was
and
like, we need to go hang out in
fucking.
comedy clubs is what we need to do.
I was gonna say it's probably because like when their careers fall flat, they have comfort food waiting for them at home, and it
Amy
shows that
Schumer
Amy
definitely,
Schumer has
yeah.
gotten ahead of that way.
She did just have a kid a little while ago.
but she
I
was
mean,
bigger before she had the kid.
But
Yeah,
my
but,
only, I was-
I'm not gonna discriminate on the body shame. It's not that. That's
Yeah.
not the point. That's not
Yeah.
why I don't like her.
I don't think she's
but I think
ugly.
Eliza's
she's just
doing well
awful.
for herself. I think she's not far beneath Amy Schumer.
I think
she's on the come up for sure.
I think she's better though.
and
That's
she,
what's it.
exactly,
I like
she is so much better.
Amy
Yeah.
Schumer. I don't know what fucking show. I heard her say something. I'm like, nope. And it was when she's like, oh, my pussy smells like a barnyard. I'm like,
Yeah. 'Cause
what the fuck is this?
That's that shit you were saying. Like when ladies do dick and ball show with pussy and clit jokes, that's no fun.
It's no fun when
Unless
guys
it's
do
Nikki
it.
Glazer. For some reason, I fucking love that lady and how raunchy
Nikki
she can-
Glazer's fucking delivery is great.
I don't know who that is.
that scrawny
You would,
lady
like,
on
she's on a lot of the
Conan.
roasts.
I don't.
Yeah.
I
We'll
stopped
show
watching
ya.
those a long
We'll show
time
ya.
ago.
Afterwards.
She's fucking funny.
She's pretty funny.
But yeah, I don't like when ladies do dick and balls jokes. But
That's that raunchy child mannerism. Like, why are you trying to
Yeah.
compete with other raunchy child? Don't do it. You're better than that. Be better than that.
Did you ever watch At
If you're
Midnight?
not, then I will. But
at midnight.
Yeah, it was hosted by Chris Hardwick. It was like a comedic TV show or a game show. They would just take like different weird prompts from like the internet, and like one was like a 3-word like "make me cringe" sort of thing, and Nikki Glazer rings in with like curling iron dildo.
Hell yeah.
2-day-old deli meat.
But yeah.
I mean, like that shot of Britney Spears.
I don't know anything about that.
You don't remember the shot of her getting out of the car? She wasn't wearing any underwear, and like someone snapped a picture of it. George Lopez did a great bit where he said it looked like somebody threw roast beef against a wall.
Since we're talking about this, Nikki.
Should sue her for ruining Quiznos for me.
Oh shit. Nikki Glazer had a joke on Conan, fucking talking about her vagina and how it looks like a hastily packed suitcase. Hastily packed suitcase.
Hastily packed suitcase. So basically just throwing
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
Shut
in a
up.
rush. It's shit hanging out the fucking zipper and shit.
Okay.
I mean, I get the visual, yeah. I mean, not that
What is up with you and fucking vaginas, man?
What do you
he's
mean?
lonely.
And
I get it.
I'm not lonely.
Lie to me, Jason.
What's up with? What do you mean?
Because you brought in our other episode, you brought up the.
That had to do
Vagina
with
candles.
Gwyneth Paltrow or whatever her name is.
Now we're talking about vaginas again.
You know, I don't know. I talked about Nikki Glazer. That's just the next thing you talk about when you bring up Nikki Glazer.
I don't know who that is, so I don't have a reference.
I think Tim and I might have talked about this at one point, but I think the one female comedian that really can do it well is Sarah Silverman. Jenna.
Oh, Sarah Silverman.
Sarah
Yeah.
Silverman. Jenna.
Jenna
but she was-
Kirkman, the
but
best
Jenna
selling
Kirkman, I haven't
Yeah,
talked to her
Sarah
before.
Silverman, but once again, you're talking about an older generation.
old generation.
She
Yeah,
was
that's
in
true.
the
That's
90s,
valid.
so
That's
early
very
2000s.
there's a huge
now she's
generation thing.
now she's fucking trying to change the world politically or something like
Yeah,
that.
she's getting kind of
just aggressive with her
her
opinions.
views and stuff. Yeah. I mean, she's always been aggressive about her opinions, but she's starting to
Right.
do it for other things now to
yeah.
better the world instead of just make them funny.
And it's just fine, but yeah, her last show on Hulu was not entertaining for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's the issue with like Amy Schumer. Like she was doing something different that was working for her, and then I don't know why, but she somehow felt like she needed to take it up a notch,
Yeah.
just overkill it, and that's where for me I was completely lost.
Mhm.
And like
And now she does Tampax commercials.
and I
What,
just
really?
don't.
Yeah.
I just don't get that. And unlike, I forgot her name already. Eliza.
Iliza
Eliza.
Yeah,
Shlesinger.
she's not she's kind of like consistent, I should say.
Absolutely.
She has her style, she has her flow, and then that works. Like,
Yep.
I don't think
Yeah.
she needs to change much. And I think the George Carlin thing, I can kind of see what you're saying about that, and that's actually pretty interesting. I'm okay with that, and this is why I think I like her.
Yeah.
She's not having to outdo herself,
No.
and that's the key. Unlike, I felt like Amy, she was always having to outdo herself or whatever it was.
One up herself.
because she never really was comfortable with whatever she was doing or
And
whatever the fucking thing
whatever
is.
it was.
She always felt like she had to change it, but I don't know.
I mean, she got where she is now.
good for
so
her.
Good for
and
her.
she
yeah.
plays fucking theaters and shit.
But I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, but then again, I am not the one that speaks for the world. So as much as I think I should.
But we can have opinions too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my choice. Good on paper, Netflix original. Can't recommend it. Is it time to rate?
Yeah, as well.
All right, Aaron, you go. Since Tim's drinking.
If it weren't for the banter and chemistry between Eliza and Margaret Cho, I would give this a 1. I'm gonna give it a 2. Because that banter enough was the saving grace of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the banter was good. I think that's what really kind of held me on to, and I'd give it a 2.5 because I did giggle a couple times that made it worth the giggle.
Right.
But for the most part, everything else about it was just horrible. Like,
Yeah.
and it wasn't her either. That's
Absolutely
just it.
wasn't.
It wasn't her that was bad. Like her acting, her whatever she was doing. It was just the movie.
The writing wasn't even that bad.
Whatever.
I mean,
That's-
the
yeah.
writing wasn't even that
the writing
bad.
wasn't. It was just
That's what I was trying to say about the director or like the editing, the flow
Yeah.
of the
Whatever
pacing.
it
It was all
was.
just off kilter.
like yeah,
For sure.
it was definitely a little off kiltered. It was just something about it was missing something.
Yeah.
And
Good
yeah,
for her to get a movie.
2.5.
2.5. Yeah, I would have to. Yeah, I never once laughed out loud. I giggled and chuckled at best.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even at like jokes necessarily. It was the banter and like
The situation. or
Yes,
whatever.
Yeah.
exactly. It was just kind of like, you know.
Like
and
after they checked out the house and like those two old ladies and just like, what the fuck was that?
Or when Serena's like, now that I've had a trauma day, I'm gonna like go because I have
I
a
just need
5
10
a.m.
hours.
morning, right?
Yeah, I did like the three of them in that car, and yeah, that's why she goes and apologizes to her friend. She's
Right.
like, "You didn't have to do that. I just kind of made you do that, and
Right.
I'm sorry."
I liked when they were walking off from her. She's like, I just need 10 hours. We get it. You work.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny when you say it, Aaron. Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.5 as well. That's what I decided on the way here.
You thought ahead. Good for you.
Hey, I'm my turn to host in this series of Tim Needs a Break. And so yeah, I was thinking about it, and unlike you, I had time to think about it, and we just kind of threw it at you on the spot last. So you can use that for an excuse if you want. But
Hey, he's got time to make up for it later.
yeah,
So when he picks his next film,
you know,
I've already picked my next film.
good.
it was fun talking about a movie we don't like for once. That was different.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. Let's find more of them.
There's plenty out there.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm just going to start roaming through Amazon and Hulu. What can I pick next?
How about Gigi? Gigi? Giggly? Giggly? I don't even know what the fuck the movie's
Geely?
called.
Talking about kid
with
stuff.
Ben Affleck
Yes.
and Jennifer
Yeah,
Geely.
that's old, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what?
I've heard it was
terrible
terrible.
movie.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
I've never seen either.
Well,
but
that was the
it's considered one of the worst films of all time.
Well, that's
so.
the big thing, like during that whole thing when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were together, and like that was that was during the demise of their relationship. Like,
Yeah.
that was Bennifer. Like,
Yeah.
even Kevin Smith says, like, you know how I know God wants me to have a movie career? I survived Bennifer
You know?
because he had him in the beginning of Jersey Girl.
And
I
now
don't know why I pronounce it that way.
I like Jersey Girl,
It was a good movie.
Me too.
but apparently now they're being seen together again.
Well,
Bennifer's on the hunt.
You got tired of the other Jennifer who was boning, so
I never paid attention to that shit.
what was her name?
I don't know.
Chick from Alias.
I don't know.
Okay.
I just know that that Jennifer Lopez broke up with the baseball player guy or whatever. Not Robert Rodriguez. Rodriguez something.
A-Rod?
Maybe.
Alex Rodriguez?
Maybe, yeah. The baseball player
I
guy.
mean, that's the only famous baseball player named Rodriguez.
I think
so.
I think so. I think that's who it is. Whatever that they were. I don't know. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm done.
All right, that'll wrap up this episode. Jason Chandler here.
This is Aaron Banyan.
Timothy Bennett.
All right, peace.
Later.